Yeah, hello everyone. Welcome to Raipur MuleSoft Meetup group. The topic we are presenting today is mastering Splunk integration with MuleSoft. And our speaker is Sonal. Yeah, coming to me, I am the organizer for this Raipur MuleSoft Meetup leader group. And I am the Meetup speaker and the mentor. Currently, I am working in Rapid Technologies as senior integration engineer, and I have total 6 years experience in MuleSoft, and I am certified MuleSoft developer. Yeah, over to you, Sonal.
Thank you, Praveen. Uh, can you stop sharing? I will share my screen.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can share. Yeah, before Ravi, you can introduce yourself, Ravi. You can give a quick intro on yourself.
Yes, can you confirm my screen is visible? Hello.
Yeah, it's me.
Okay. So let's start today's topic. Let me introduce myself first. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Raipur MuleSoft Meetup. Thanks for joining this session and thanks, Praveen, for giving me this opportunity. My name is Sonal and I am working as a senior software engineer at Digital Bus. I have over 5 years of experience in API development and integration, and I am a certified MuleSoft developer and also a MuleSoft speaker and mentor. And I'm really glad to be here today as a speaker for this session. So today I will be presenting on Splunk integration with MuleSoft, focusing on how we can achieve real-time monitoring and centralized logging for APIs. So let's start the session. So agenda for the today is uh, introduction to Splunk and the MuleSoft and why integration is needed, integration approaches, and then I will discuss my implementation in, and then I will show the demo. And at last, we will discuss the question and answer session. So feel free to ask if you have any doubt. So you can send your query on the chat, or you can also ask at the end of the session. So first is understanding the Splunk. In modern enterprise systems, APIs generates a large volume of logs, and without proper monitoring or identifying issues, it becomes a difficult task for us. So this integration helps us to gain visibility and control over our systems. So, in today's digital landscapes, systems are highly distributed and generate massive amounts of logs. Uh, so, monitoring those logs is critical to ensure system reliability, performance, and security. Uh, so, this centralized observability solution, which is where the Splunk comes into the picture. So we will understand what is Splunk. So Splunk is an enterprise-grade log analysis and monitoring platform. It allows real-time injections and indexing and searching of machine data. Using Splunk, uh, we can say Splunk is a processing language also. So using the Splunk, user can create powerful queries, dashboards, and alerts. It is widely used for observability, security, monitoring, and operational intelligence. Uh, so, uh, Splunk can uh, Splunk collects the data from the application servers, APIs, and network devices. So, from applications, for example, Mule applications, every API request, response, and error, everything gets logs. For server logs like CPU uses, memory, system errors, all of that can be logged into the Splunk. And for APIs, API traffic like response time failures, status code vary. This is very important for the for monitoring. And for network devices, even firewalls, routers, and switches generates logs, which can also be analyzed in Splunk for security use case. So basically, Splunk collects data from everywhere, but the collecting data is just the first step. So why Splunk is used? Splunk is a Splunk is used for centralized logging system. So in most systems, logs are scattered, and in Mule applications, some in servers, some in different environments. So Splunk brings everything into a one place. So instead of checking multiple systems, we get the single centralized view of all logs. Second one is the real-time monitoring. So Splunk allow us to monitor systems in real time as soon as an API is called or an error occurs. It gets reflected immediately in Splunk. This is very important for production systems where delays are not acceptable. Uh, we can also use the Splunk for the faster troubleshooting. When an issue happens, instead of manually checking logs on servers, we can directly search in Splunk. For example, if API failed, which API is failed and what was the error, what time did it happen, this significantly reduces the debugging time. And come to the security. So Splunk is also widely used as uh, a security tool or security information and event management. It helps to detect the suspicious API calls, unauthorized access, and the unusual traffic patterns. So it's not just monitoring, it also strengthens security. And come to the compliance and audit tracking. So in many industries like banking or healthcare, we need to maintain logs for audit purpose. So Splunk helps to store and track logs in the structured way, making compliance easier. So Splunk is not just storing logs, it is helping us monitor, secure, and troubleshoot systems efficiently. Now, understanding the MuleSoft. So MuleSoft is an integration platform that enables API-led connectivity. It helps to connect different heterogeneous applications, and data sources, and systems seamlessly. It allow organizations to expose reusable APIs and deploy them on cloud or on-premise environments. And the MuleSoft acts as the backbone of integration in many enterprises. So it is the short intro of the MuleSoft. So let's discuss the problem in Mule without a Splunk. If we are not using the Splunk, so what will be the problem? So let's understand the problem. In Mule applications, logs are definitely generated. Every API call, response, and error is logged. So the problem is not lack of logs. The problem is how we use them. Uh, we can use the logs. We can use logs. Logs are exist, but they are stored locally. So by default, logs are stored locally on the server in log files. This means uh, we need a server access. We have to manual open log files, not scalable, especially in distributed systems or cloud environments. And these logs are hard to search. If we want to find a specific error, we have to go to server or open large logs files, or we have to manual search. So uh, doing this in the production with thousands of log lines, it's time consuming and inefficient. And if something breaks, like an API failure, we won't know immediately. Um, so we use the Splunk. So this problem will be resolved with the Splunk Enterprise. Now, why integrate the Splunk with MuleSoft? So we saw the problems when logs are only stored locally. Now let's see how integrating Splunk with MuleSoft solve these challenges. Uh, First one is the centralized API login. With Splunk integration, all API logs from MuleSoft are sent to a central platform. Instead of checking logs on different servers, everything is available in one place. This makes monitoring much easier, and especially in the distributed system. Uh, Come to the real-time monitoring. So as soon as an API is called or an error occurs, the logs is immediately visible in Splunk. There is no delay. Everything is near real time. For example, if an API fails, we can see it instantly on the dashboard. Next is the faster issue detection. So logs are searchable and visible in real time. We can quickly identify failures, track errors, and analyze the patterns. So this reduces the time required to detect and fix the issue. Uh, Next is the security visibility. So Splunk also helps in identifying the unusual or suspicious activities such as the repeated failed requests and the unauthorized access attempts, abnormal traffic patterns. This improves the overall system security. So by integrating Splunk with MuleSoft, we move from reactive troubleshooting to proactive monitoring. Now, integration approaches. So there are multiple ways to integrate Splunk with MuleSoft depending on the requirement and the scale. So first one is the log4j file and the forwarder. Again, the HEC HTTP event collector, which we will implement in our demo. And again, next is the custom HTTP login and the Kafka or streaming. So first we will discuss the log4j file plus forwarder. So in this approach, Mule writes logs into the files and a Splunk forwarder reads those files and sends logs to Splunk. Uh, so this one is the simple setup, but it is not a fully real time. And second was is the HEC. This is the HTTP event collector. Here logs are sent directly from Mule to Splunk using the HTTP and a token. This is the real time and more modern uh, as compared to log4j file or a forwarder. And this is what I will be using in the demo. And custom HTTP login. So we can also build the custom mule flows to send logs to Splunk using HTTP request. It gives the more control over log format and content. Next one is the Kafka or streaming. So for large scale systems, logs are sent through Kafka and then consumed by Splunk. So it is used in the high volume enterprise level architecture. So depending on the use case, whether it's simplicity or real time processing or scalability, we choose the integration approach. Now let me explain the approach that I have implemented in this demo. So for this, we need the Splunk Enterprises and the Endpoint Studio for application creation for Mule for Endpoint Studio, and we need the log4j file. So Splunk Enterprises, I am using the Splunk Enterprise where logs are collected, indexed, and visualized. And on the integration side, I use the Mule4 to expose the APIs and generate logs during API execution. For logging, Mule internally uses the log4j tool, which allow us to configure how and where logs should be sent. And the integrated using HEC token. So what is HEC token? Splunk this is the HTTP event collector token. It is a unique GUID based authentication key. You can see the example in the slide that allows application to send data directly to Splunk via the HTTPS without needing the user credentials. We can generate, manage, and secure these tokens from the Splunk Enterprises settings. So in my demo, uh, I use the HTTP event collector, also known as the HEC. We generate an HEC token, and using that token, logs are sent securely from Mule to Splunk over the HTTP. So in this approach, we are not storing the logs in the files and then forwarding them. Instead, we what we will do, we will send logs directly to Splunk. So this is the my log4j configuration file. So this is the here the Splunk HTTP configuration. So in this configuration, I use this token and index. So this token we will generate from the Splunk enterprises, and this index also we will create. And after that, we will send logs to the Splunk. So this is the log4j file configuration. And in our demo, we will see first a client sends a request to the Mule API, then Mule process the request. Logs are generated using the log4j file. These logs are then sent directly to Splunk using the HTTP event collector along with the HEC token. And then Splunk receive the logs and indexes them so that they can be searched and analyzed. And finally, the data is reflected in dashboards in near real time, giving us the full visibility of the API activity. So before going to the demo, I will discuss some best practices. First one is the use JSON structured log. So instead of plain text logs, we should use the JSON format. This makes logs easy to search, filter, and analyze in Splunk. For example, we can directly query fields like status, API name, or correlation ID. And second one is avoid logging sensitive data. We should not never log the sensitive information like passwords, tokens, or personal data. This is important for security and compliance. And always use the correlation ID. This helps us to track a request end to end. And if one API calls another service, then we can follow the same request across multiple systems. So this is extremely useful during the debugging. And next one is the control log volume. So we should avoid sending unnecessary logs to Splunk uh, because too many logs can increase the cost, reduce performance, and that's why sensitive logging is important. And last one is the secure HEC token. So HEC token should always be secured. It should not be hard coded in the code or the config files. We should use the environment variable or secret management tools to secure the HEC token. So following these best practices ensure that our logging is not just functional, but also secure, efficient, and scalable. So let's start the demo. First, I need to create one Mule application. My studio is visible.
Yes.
So I created one project named the Splunk demo. Now I will configure the listener here. I give the path as /API logger. So in logger, this is the start logger. And here I put write the message like logger1. And in this is the in logger, we have the categories. So what types of logs we can send, like debug logs or error type of log, info log, trace log, warn log. So here I just take the default one, info logs. So we will capture the info logs in Splunk inside the category. So in Splunk we can send some info, some selected logs also. So here, for that we need to write the category here. So I write the category like Splunk.log, Splunk.logger category name, logger category name. So I write here Splunk.logger. Now I will take one transform message. Here I write the message like Splunk logs are generated. This is the message, and again I put one logger. This is the end logger, and in this logger I will simply put the payload, and category is same, Splunk.logger. So our application is created. Now we can see here inside the source main resources, Mule automatically created one log4j file. So this is the log4j file. So we need to configure this log4j file first. Remove this comment section. So inside this Mule logger, uh, we can write append reference. Let me check here. Let me copy this. So this is the Mule logger. So by default, the Mule logger name is this. If we not put in the if we not write the logger category, so by default it will take the logger async logger name is organization.mule.runtime, and for here we put the logger category Splunk.logger, so it will give the category name Splunk.logger. So async logger, I replace this name with the Splunk logger. Level is info level logs, and append reference socket. So for sending the logs in the Splunk, we need to put this append reference equals to socket. So this is the Splunk logger. Now we need to configure the async route. So here we can see the async root level, also info, append references file. This means logs are generated, logs are generated in file. Replace this. And again, append references socket for Splunk. Now in the configuration, we need to put this configuration. Log4j configuration. So this is the log4j configuration. Now the main configuration here for HEC token, we need to put here HEC token. So first we will generate HEC token, then we will put here. So how we can generate that HEC token? So this is the Splunk Enterprise dashboard. So you can download the Splunk Enterprise from the internet and then install in your system. From here you can log in the Splunk Enterprises, and for the token generation, go to this settings option and then go to this data inputs. Inside the settings, go to the data inputs, and then here we can see the HTTP event collector, which is HEC. So click on that. So I already created one token earlier. So I will create one new token. Click on this new token. So here you can give the token name. So my token is, I give the token name test token. Yes. Now click on the next. From from inside this input settings, here is the select option. So select here. So here we can select the category. So here we will select the log4j file. We are using the log4j file. So we will select the log4j file. Now we need to create the index. So here are the index which is already created. So this is my index demo. I have earlier I have created that. For now, I will create a new index. So my index name is demo index. Save this. Now click on the review part. So we can review. Input type is token. Our token name is test token. We can skip this or skip all these things. And the source type is log4j file. And default index. So index we have created the demo index. So all these things are created. Now click on submit. So when we click the submit, a token has been created successfully. So this is the token. We can use this token inside our log4j file. So let me copy this token. This is the Splunk HTTP configuration. And here I will replace this token value to with my new token. And this is the index. So index equals to, earlier I created the index demo. Now I have created the demo index. So demo index. I think I have wrong created the index. Index name should be with the underscore. So let me change that one. Test token. I click this. Let's take it indexed. So my default index is indexed. Save this. So we can see the index demo. Copy this. So this is our Splunk configuration. Copy this configuration and put inside the log4j file. After the rolling file configuration, we need to put this Splunk HTTP configuration. So the name is socket. Socket reference we have given here. Appender reference is socket. We can give a socket name for the Splunk. And the URL is the HTTP :// and this is the port is 8088 token. We have generated that token. So this is the token value and the index is index demo. So our log4j file is completed. Save this. Now we need to add some POM dependencies also for the Splunk integration. So here are the dependencies. So here are three dependencies for the Splunk integration. One is a Splunk logging. This is the log for the log4j file, and this other one is also for log4j file. So these three dependencies we need to add in our form file. And another one is one repository, Splunk repository. Copy that repository. Post. So this is the JProg Splunk repository. Save this. Now we will run the application. Debug the application. Application is deployed. Now I will send the request. So once the first logger will be executed, first logger has a message logger1. First logger is executed. We can see on our console log messages logger1 and the category I have given the Splunk logger. So name of the logger category is Splunk logger. So this is the local logs. Now we will see the logs in on the Splunk. So how we can see? Go to the Splunk enterprises again. Click on this enterprise, Splunk enterprise. Now here we click on this search and reporting. Now inside this search box, we need to enter our index. So how we can enter like index equals to, these are the some suggestions. Our index name is index demo. Now from here, I will select the time last 15 minutes. So it will show the logs of the last 15 minutes. So click on this search. So we can see the logs are generated here. For now, we just execute the first logger. So logger category is Splunk logger and the message is logger1. Now I will execute the transform message. So inside the transformation, so logger will logs only the messages inside the logger. So our messages Splunk's logs are generated, and inside this end logger, I will pass this payload. So I will execute this also. Now here only this logger one is. Now I will search again. So we can see here this the logger end logger message is also uh, generates here in Splunk log. Our messages Splunk logs are generated. So the logs are generated in the Splunk. So this is how we can integrate the MuleSoft with the Splunk and generate our logs. So in conclusion, integrating Splunk with MuleSoft provides a powerful observability solution. It enables the real-time monitoring, faster debugging, and better system insights. This integration is essential for modern API-driven architecture. Thank you, everyone. That's all from my side.
So anyone have any questions?
Yeah, sometime log is not appearing to Splunk and showing 200 HTTP response. So what could be wrong here?
In Splunk.
Yes.
Ask again, Roshan.
When we are processing log to the Splunk, okay. But sometime it is not occurring, sometime it is not appearing to the Splunk.
Mhm.
But
So
we can see in
is
the
the
response code showing the 200. Okay. So what could be wrong here?
So the wrong things, maybe the Log4j integration or the token you have right inside the Log4j file will be wrong. These things.
No, but HTTP is showing 200. HTTP response showing 200.
So in Postman, it will show
HTTP.
200 for you.
Yes.
So you are forwarding the cloud of blocks or which logs you are forwarding to Splunk?
No, for the demo, just I created. Okay.
Okay. So
Recent.
based
No,
upon
no,
your
in
index,
post. Yes,
yeah.
in Postman you can see the
Yeah,
200 logs
200. But
because
log is not.
this is your local logs. But when you are forwarding the logs, you are integrating the Mule API on the Splunk. So if the logs are not generated in the Splunk, then there is the problem in your log4j file or the token or index. So check that. But the local logs are generated. You have received the response 200.
And sometime it is taking too much time, like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So what is should be there?
Yeah, I can find out that answer and I will tell.
Let's see in the chat. So will this configuration will work for cloud of 1 and 2 as well? Yeah, in
Yes,
URL
yes,
you
this
need
is
to change
this
it.
will work.
Yeah, let me share my screen. So for URL you need to previously in demo we have seen it will be like this, like HTTP, our local host or local IP. But coming to cloud up, you need to configure this kind of URL, HTTPS. It will you can get it from the Splunk Cloud Enterprise. From there you
Yes.
can configure.
Where we getting this URL?
So you can go. Let me show you this one. You can go to Splunk Cloud platform. Once you sign up here, after filling all these forms and you create an account, you will get an email which contain this URL for you to log in, and this username and password. It will give one password. So after it will create, you need to generate new password. When you use this URL, so this is cloud-based one. So you can use this username there and the password you have generated. Yeah, from here the process will be same again. The difference is the Splunk for local host, you are installing the Splunk in your local system. This is cloud-based one. For cloud-based one, we will get the HTTPS one.
And if we need to find some particular log,
Okay,
like some file name or something, so what query should be there?
so you can search and
Like index star and
so you can see we have so many logs here based upon this. You will have the correlation ID or transaction ID or event IDs for your logs in MuleSoft. Based upon that also, let me show you.
how to relate the correlation ID to the transaction ID.
So for that one in the logj to 4, you need to mention the few commands for like this. We have cloud up layout and the JSON layout. So you can see the correlation ID, you can generate it like this from your application.
For this log, you are showing one log, right? So here, please show me the log. So here, yeah, here this is the correlation ID.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can see correlation ID,
yeah.
the API name, API
Yes.
type, and the
Yes.
message which you are getting, it will reflect here, the payload.
Okay.
Yeah.
S- Uh, so where is the transaction ID?
Yeah, we are not here, we are not giving the transaction ID. So if you are taking from the payload, you need to give the transaction ID here. That will be different for the cloud up layout. Yeah.
And can we search the log by the transaction ID? Like
So,
in the query, you can write the transaction ID, then we can find that log.
so you can take this ID or you can use the correlation like this. You can give one space. You can
And
search it here directly.
okay. In time stamp, we can mention by the time range, right?
Your timestamp. This one only.
If any issue occurred on some time, okay, so time stamp we can select from the time range.
The time that you need to
Select from
get
the
into this one. Like we can, there will be few queries for Splunk side. So by using that one, you can fetch it for the particular timestamp. Or else you can use the time range, the default they have given.
okay, good.
For online Splunk, will you please show the HTTPS configuration online Splunk? You need to. So you can go here.
And is there any token expiration time?
I think token will not expire. So you can go to the HTTP event collector. So you can add new token.
This token will not expire until you delete this.
So you can use demo. You can click on next. You can select the log4j. For online also it will be same to Splunk Cloud also. So you can give any of this here and you can click on review, submit. So you will get this token. Okay. So after getting token, you need to do one more thing also. So you
Uh,
need to go to HTTP event collector
yeah. And
and
if
you
you
need to
will
select the
get,
global settings and you need to enable this one and you need to select the log4j. By default, it will be log4j only. If not, you need to select the log4j from here and by default enable SSL and port number will be same for this HTTPS one and you click on save. Then you can use that one which we have used in this URL. If you don't select this global settings is not enabled, it will throw error. I mean logs will not forward to Splunk. Oh sorry, not screen is not sharing. Yeah, it will be same. You need to go, you can go here and click on new token, everything will be same. Come back to previous one. So after that one, just you need to enable the global elements for this one, online Splunk cloud, global settings. And you need to click on enable. And by default, it will be log4j. If not, you need to select the log4j. And SSL will be enabled and port number will be by default 8088. It will not change. You click on save. So that URL you need to use for the Cloud blocks. For Cloud blocks, you need to give the JSON layout or Cloud layout. Here we are taking the JSON layout. Yeah. So any
there are
questions?
huge amount of requests coming. Okay, and it is taking too much time. API latency is there. So how can improve? Uh,
So that Splunk team will handle. Best if it is the purchase license one for this Splunk side, it will be fast. Okay. So it will handle based upon the license, it will handle the logs. Coming to ELK, it is open, there will be open source. I think they have one question also. Yeah. Both are not same, I think. Splunk is the purchase one, ELK is the open source. And for ELK, we have Kibana and few more options will be there. For Splunk, there will be dashboards. And security purpose, most of the enterprises use the Splunk. Yeah, any questions? So if no questions, we can end this section. Let me take few screenshots of this event. If you are okay, you can turn on your camera. Yeah, just a minute. So for recording, you can find the recording in the Meetup page. So in 24 hours, we will upload this in the Meetup page. Yeah, thanks everyone for joining this section. Thank you.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you
Thank you,
all.
Praveen.
Yeah.